Okay, so I'm not going to go too in depth. See, this is the thing I hate. I don't want to activate my phone. How's it going, everybody? This is Laser Videos. What's up? So what this is this is the Alcatel One Touch Ideal, or I think it may be called the Alcatel One Touch Ideal. That's what I'm gonna call it, because all of their phones are some sort of idle. You know, I've got OCD. I've got to add that idle to it. Sort of like people call the Apple Watch the iWatch. They just add it to it because that's, you know, it's the norm. In the unboxing, I said this phone's actually thin. Well, I was actually kind of wrong. This is the exact same thickness as the iPhone 4. But it feels thinner, and it feels a lot nicer in the hand than the iPhone 4 does, in my personal opinion. It's not, like, slippery, like, as you can see, it's kind of slippery, but it's not just gonna fall out of your hand. Now, this is sort of like a mixture between, like a matte plastic and like a smooth plastic, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. It's like that rubbery feel, but it's not, it's more like, I don't know how to describe it, honestly. Speaking of the back, it is removable, and it's fairly easy to remove, and it doesn't even look removable because it kind of curves around, sort of like a Nokia phone. Here you have a 1780 milliamp hour battery. Now, when I first saw that, I was like, that's bad. Like, that's really bad. But actually, so 32%. So this will last you a day with heavy use. Also, it has a 5 megapixel camera, which does not have autofocus. I repeat, it does not have autofocus. It does not have tap to focus. It has no focusing whatsoever. It's fixed focus all the way through. And I honestly find that disappointing. It reminds me of the LG Optimus Fuel with its fixed focus camera. But yeah, well, you can't really complain. It's 5 megapixels, and it's actually not that bad of a camera, and we will get into that later in this review. And you may be wondering what this piece of paper is here for. Well, I can take this out because this is pointless. It doesn't even work. But what the paper was for is this SIM card slot, because somehow this SIM card keeps getting disconnected from the SIM card slot, and it keeps notifying me, and it's really annoying, and it brings up the activation menu. So I don't want to activate this phone, and I don't know how to get rid of that. This also has a front-facing camera. This is I don't even know the resolution of the front-facing camera. This has 3 capacitive buttons. This is a home button, this is a back/return button, and this is the multitasking menu button. Right here you have micro USB 2.0 for charging and for data transfers, and I think this might support USB OTG. That's something I have to test. If this supports USB OTG, then that would be pretty cool. You can use a mouse on the screen. In case your touchscreen breaks, you can use this as a little pocket computer. Up here at the top, you have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Apple iPhone 7. I do often get the power button mistaked with the volume rockers. Eventually, you get used to where they are. But if I just pull it out of my pocket and press the volume button rather than pressing the power button, that can get annoying at sometimes. Okay, since I've basically taken you around this entire phone, let's go ahead and power it on. Now, the first thing you'll notice when you first use this is the screen is actually really good. As you can see, it is difficult to see the pixels when getting close to it, of course, and the viewing angles, they aren't horrible. I mean, they're bad, but they aren't awful, like the LG Lucky. And right now it's actually on full brightness. It does get pretty bright. It also gets pretty dark. So if you're using it at nighttime, this is pretty useful. So yeah, that's just a look at the display. This is a 480p display, but the pixel density is really good on it. I do not have a stock launcher because I do not like how it looks. That's just, you know, personal preference. You're able to put any type of launcher you want to on this. The live wallpapers this phone comes with are Bubbles, Hollow Spiral, Phase Beam, and Spectrum. And one of my favorites is Phase Beam. Pretty nice live wallpaper. It's not interactive. Some of them are. Bubbles is interactive, so this is an interactive live wallpaper. As you're scrolling through your menus, it will change, and it does support a lot of apps, so there we go. And it's pretty smooth when you're scrolling through menus. It's sort of laggy when it's loading things in, and also when you're opening the task manager menu, it's pretty easy to close apps, and you're also able to close all of the apps at once, and it tells you how much memory you freed up.
Okay, so as you guys can see here, this is running Geometry Dash right now. This is an auto level, and the reason is because it is very difficult to play Geometry Dash on this phone, but it does support replays. Now, when it comes to other games like Minecraft, as you can see here, this phone actually can run Infinite Worlds, which I was surprised. Usually, crappy phones like this can't. The LG Optimus XC2 could, but you know. And as you can see, it actually kind of takes it a while to generate an infinite world, but it manages to do it. And when you start playing, it's not even that laggy. Like, there's no frame drops. And keep in mind that I'm actually screen recording with it too.
Now, I ran an Antutu benchmark on this. I'm not going to run it on camera. There's the results right there in the corner. You can look at those. This is not a good phone, according to Antutu. But that is comparing it to flagship phones. It's not comparing it to entry-level phones like this one itself. One of the cool things about this phone is it has an FM radio, and I have not had very many phones with an FM radio, so this is pretty nice. In fact, the only other smartphone I had that had an FM radio was my Samsung Galaxy Player, and that's an MP3 player, so you'd expect it. Now, in terms of Android version, this is actually running a fairly recent version of Android, so if you go to About Phone, you are running Android 5.1.1 Lollipop. And if you don't know this, you can click and hold here, and yeah, you can play this game, but it's actually laggy on this phone for some reason. Nearly impossible to play. So, yeah, it doesn't like me. And now I will take you to the camera test I did on this. Okay, so this will be the video test of the Alcatel One Touch Ideal, or I think it's just an Alcatel One Touch Ideal, I don't know. Also, the Alcatel has fixed focus, so it is not going to focus on a close subject. The sticker on the window. So looking at leaves, just looking at the screens, yeah, the results will be a lot better when I'm looking at this on my tablet. And you can see a lot. Oh my god, I'm shaking so much. Okay, and when looking in a bright area, the Alcatel starts to get washed out. Yeah, so this is the rear facing camera video test. So I'm going to switch to the front facing camera now. Alright, so as you guys know, I'm not very attractive. You know, go into the sunlight, as you can see, everything looks washed out on the Alcatel. Now let's look at something with a lot of detail in it, sort of like the leaves. So, there you go. Look at the gravel, maybe from far up and up close. Alright, so after watching that camera test, now I'm going to tell you guys my complaints. One thing I don't like, of course, is that the SIM card comes disconnected sometimes. And it's at random. It's not based on impact. I don't know what I just did there. It's not based on impact, so I don't know why it happens. It's probably a software bug. I'm not sure, but whatever. Alright, so there's another thing I dislike about this phone. So you guys know how I have Google Now Launcher as my custom launcher. But if I power off this phone and power it back on, it asks me what I want my default launcher to be, even though I clearly set Google Now Launcher as my default launcher. As you will see here, it asks me what I want my default launcher to be, even though Google Now Launcher is my default launcher. Okay, so I'm not going to go too in depth. See, this is the thing I hate. I don't want to activate my phone. Oh my god, seriously? Load the album art. What the hell? Why isn't the album art showing up? It was just showing up. Then AT&T had to interrupt me. Okay, well, it looks like AT&T interrupting me made the album art disappear. Okay guys, so I'm not going to go too in-depth into the audio. I'm not going to tell you guys how good the headphone jack is, because it's good. It's a headphone jack, you know, whatever. It's a little bit quieter than an iPhone, I realized, yeah. And in order to actually hear the music on the bus, I have to have the volume all the way up, like cranked. The overall clarity of the sound is a lot better on this compared to my iPhone, funny enough. But let's talk about the speaker, since, you know. So this is what the speaker sounds like.
Skeletons of wigs, but nothing's true. I used to own a castle, now it's boxes that I have to move. It's easier to run away, but today we got to cast the shadows out from sight, a final stand, a shouting cry.
So yeah guys, for the $30 I spent, this is a pretty good phone. This is probably one of the best phones I've had that I bought with my own money. But still, I think that my LG Optimus XC2 is better than this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I do recommend you guys go out and buy this phone just for the hell of it. Thanks for watching, and peace out.